Today's collectible spot, we are having a look at the DC Comics Originals designer Polyresin Hand-Painted Bookends. These bookends feature the world's finest Superman and Batman in respected poses. For starters, I like the fact that they're standing on similar enough statued kind of griffin statues from buildings. But they are in their iconic classic costumes, Batman in his blue and gray outfit, and Superman sporting his original outfit as well. Spot picked this up from the folks over at Entertainment Earth. It was one of these things where as soon as I saw it, impulse buy, I definitely wanted to pick it up and add it to my collection. I love bookends and have a lot of books, so really having something to be able to put on either end of my bookshelf, you can go with just a regular bookend, yes, but why not get it as Superman and Batman? That makes it that much cooler. The box as well, other than featuring the two bookends on the front, features some nice artwork paneling on the back of some comic panels. On the top of the package, designer Polyresin bookends. I don't really care for the fact that they use the '89 Batman, and Spot's mentioned this on a couple of reviews too. They always seem to fall back on the '89 logo, especially for Batman. It's a similar enough logo that is on Batman, but they always seem to fall back to the '89 logo. Not really a crazy fan of that, but it's just the box, so I'm not going to be too upset over it. On the side, some really classic artwork of Batman. When I see Batman looking like this, it reminds me also, I had a Light Bright back in the day, and I had these Super Friends Light Bright panels. Kind of wish I still had those. I mean, Light Brights, I don't think anyone has their Light Bright anymore. And on the other end, a really nice image of Superman as well. And then on the back, Batman and Superman bookends, designer Polyresin hand-painted. The read-up said, millionaire Bruce Wayne was just a kid when he watched his parents get gunned down during a mugging in Gotham City. The crime would define his life as he dedicated himself to becoming the world's greatest weapon against crime, the Batman. On the flip end of it, rocketed to Earth from the dying planet Krypton, baby Kal-El was found from a farming couple who named the boy Clark Kent and raised him as their own. Discovering his enormous powers, they instilled in him strong moral values and inspired him to become a hero. This comes also from the folks over at Monogram Direct, Monogram International, www.monogramdirect.com. Spot's going to take a break and get this completely out of package, and certainly when we come back, we're going to get a better look at the designer Polyresin hand-painted bookends of Batman and Superman. There's more heading your way, guys. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. Well, having a look at the world's finest, I hate to say it, but one of them is not as fine as perhaps they could be. Superman came out of packaging, as you can see right there. Superman came out of packaging just fine. The problem with it being polyresin, though, poor Batman, as soon as I got him out of packaging, I noticed he was already loose. And further investigating, further getting him out of packaging, not only did this side piece right here was broken off in bag. Let me just indicate here, this was like this. This is supposed to be, I guess, like this. And these two pieces were, again, just completely broken off. The downside to being polyresin, too, it can be very brittle and fragile if it gets banged, or in this case, I don't know, maybe during shipping process or something along those lines. Yeah, Batman's entire top half. Oh, that's so sad. That is so sad. His whole top half was completely broken in bag. So I'm going to reach out to Entertainment Earth and see if I can get a replacement for these. Because I do like the pieces. It's just a shame that poor Batman, or unless I try to glue it, but I mean really, getting it out of bag and it being broken like this, it is somewhat disheartening. And it shouldn't be broken as soon as I get it out of bag. Assuming though, let's say if these were completely intact, and I didn't have so many issues with the Cape Crusader, they are good looking pieces. The one thing that kind of gravitated me towards this set initially, if I can get the cowl back on the Batman here. One thing that gravitated me towards this set was the fact that they had a vintage look to them. I could swear that I saw something similar to this when I was first, when I was a kid, and they had Superman, Batman bookends, where they're not quite, I don't think they're quite current looking looks to the superheroes. I do feel like Superman and Batman, they do look like more something that I would have seen again from the 80s or so. I'm really disappointed though that the torso section, or at least the cowl section of Batman, has come completely off. Batman's a good looking piece. He's got the white eyes and he's got his the blue cowl, the blue and gray outfit. The emblem, it's iffy, because the weird thing is, like, the Batman here should be more like a Silver Age, and yet he seems to have the emblem for more current age. So it's slightly conflicting. It's a gorgeous piece though, especially like turning on a certain angle and having it as a bookend. I love how the cape flows to the side of Batman here. It's just a shame. Yeah, it just really sucks that it broke right off. Looking at it though from a standpoint that if it wasn't broken, I would be very happy with these pieces. That you just have to be really, really careful with being polyresin. On the flip end of it, the Man of Steel certainly lived up to his title. He definitely survived the shipping or the initial packaging of these pieces. He does have the same side runners that Batman had on his stand, although much more durable. It didn't break off or anything like that. I like Superman. Now, it may not be everybody's cup of tea, because I look at it, and what makes me more interested in the set is that it has a vintage look to it. Even if these pieces are current, in fact, the dates on them are, I don't even see actually the dates on it, but they're not old pieces, and yet the design of them, they do have a more retro look piece, like a retro design to them, especially like Superman's face. Looks to me like something I would have had in the 80s. And I say that, but I don't say that in such a, I certainly don't mean it in a bad way. I love that it has that vintage look to it, because for me, if I'm displaying my books and I'm going to have these guys on as bookends, I kind of like the fact that they look like a vintage piece rather than something that would be current. They are heavy pieces as well. Both Superman and Batman are heavy pieces. But yeah, you have to be very careful with these. These are the kind of bookends that if you wouldn't want them dropping or anything like that, because things such as capes, I can even see like where it's been attached to Superman around his collar area there. There's not a lot that's really keeping that cape on the Man of Steel. That if this was to hit or make impact with something, guaranteed that could easily come off. Equally so, the little side pieces could come off the same way that Batman's did. They look really neat. They show well. I mean, I would probably have them more displayed like this versus having, Superman facing that way, Batman facing the other way. I probably would have them more so this way, so you could see like the capes kind of flowing behind them. It works especially better, I think, with Batman. Boy, does it really suck, though, that Batman's cape broke right off. I probably will take the time to reach out Entertainment Earth and just kind of ask them if I can get a replacement for it. It shouldn't be a problem, because, it was damaged inside its box. But, it's such a shame. Such a shame. Not maybe necessarily for everybody, but, I think they're really neat pieces that if you're probably around my age bracket, you'd be more gravitating towards these. I don't think a younger collector would probably be too keen on the designs of both Batman and Superman. For me, though, it works because it reminds me of something that I used to have when I was little. Today's collectible spot, boy, that really sucked. Spot got it out of packaging, Batman's cape was broken off, but still, at the end of the day, I do like these pieces. You just have to be very careful with it being polyresin, that issues like this could be something that maybe you see with other pieces as well. Like, if you order something like this, you have to be careful. Do inspect it thoroughly when you get it out of packaging, and do contact wherever you purchased it from and see if you can get a replacement. If you are interested in checking out the bookends, certainly other pieces as well from Entertainment Earth, I'll provide the link down below. Today's collectible spot, we were having a look at the world's finest Superman Batman Polyresin Hand-Painted Bookends. Stay tuned, guys. Spot's going to have more collectible spots heading your way. Thanks for watching as you always do. See you next time.